Hello and welcome to the IAPA instructional video on climbing in traditional high rope courses, part about safety instructions. First off, I'll be explaining you how this entire setup is constructed. The first part being these two carbinders. These two carbinders are quite simply there to attach our climber and his back plate. Will also obviously be screwed tight. And we have the rope going up to the redirection point, coming back down, back towards the eddy. The eddy is a half automatic safety system. Basically, rope running in on one side, a brake in the middle, and a rope continuing towards the end. Our safety crew consists out of, firstly, a main belayer. For that, I obviously need a volunteer. Would you like to step forward? Our main belayer is equipped with a full body safety harness and a helmet. The first thing that we'll do is we'll grab the eddy and we'll attach it to the tie-in up front as such. As soon as the eddy is placed on the climbing rope, it divides the climbing rope into two parts. The first part being starting up front at the climber, running up top to the redirection point and down into the eddy. The second part of the rope, which is the brake rope, the brake part, this part here, runs out of the eddy, goes out towards the end. Our main belayer will hold on to the climbing rope in a special way. Quite simply, her right hand will be going onto the climbing rope all the way up top, as such, a bit deeper, yeah, and the left hand will go onto the brake rope as such, taking care that both thumbs look away from the eddy and that she has a minimum of one fist width away from the eddy with the rope, the hand on the brake rope. Now, our main belayer will have two jobs. Her first job will be to remove the slack that will be there when our climber climbs up. And she'll be doing that simply by pulling down with her right hand and pulling out with her left hand. Exactly as such. Her second job will be to never let go of the brake part of the rope. And she'll be doing that simply by tunneling down with her left hand back towards the eddy. She'll tunnel simply by slightly opening her left hand and simply slide along the rope until she reaches the basic position again, which is obviously one fist width away from the eddy, and the right hand goes back to the beginning position as well. Would you like to try that again? Very good. Okay, so our safety crew obviously has a second person in there, our secondary belayer, who is equipped with a helmet as well. Would you like to be our volunteer for that? Fantastic. Now the position of the secondary belayer is in this case to the left of our main belayer, and her job will consist of two parts as well. The first part will be to make sure that she grabs the rope as if she would grab a bicycle handle, simply as such, making sure that there is a bit of slack in between the main and the secondary belayer, which reaches almost down to their knees. Would you like to do that? Our secondary belayer obviously has two jobs as well. First job being never to let go of the brake part of the rope, always making sure that both hands are on the rope. And secondly, to make sure that the rope, which will be coming out when our climber is climbing, is put on a neat stack next to her so that no one else falls over it or that the rope ends up getting quite dirty. Okay, when our climbing, our safety team is prepared, our climber will need some commands as well. The first command that he'll need will be simply a question asked of our safety team, which will be, "Are you ready?" Two answers are possible, and only two. The first one is yes. When the entire safety crew says yes, our climber automatically knows that they will guide him all the way to the point he wishes to reach and back to the bottom. If one or each member of the safety team answers the question, "Are you ready?" with no, then the climber automatically knows that he's not allowed to start climbing and has to wait until each member answers with yes. The second command that our climber needs to know is block. Block is quite easy. As soon as our climber has reached his goal, he basically shouts block, and our safety crew will know automatically that A, he wishes to come down, and B, they have to remove every inch of remaining slag that is still in the system by doing that which they've been doing the entire time, simply pulling everything out and making sure that the rope is guided back towards the end. Can you please do that? Fantastic. Now, as soon as all the remaining slack has been pulled out, the safety crew can tell the climber that he can sit down into his harness, and they can call over the teamer to help him start the descent. As soon as the teamer reaches the group, he'll tell the main belayer that she can remove her right hand and grab a hold of this green handle up front. This green handle, basically part of the eddy system, functions quite simply. Now, there are 3 positions that you should know. Basically, the first position, which is one of the locked positions, and all the way at the end, which basically is locked as well. As long as the handle is in either one of these 2 positions, rope cannot pass in the other direction, and our climber cannot descend. Now, when our main belayer wants to allow the climber to come down, she'll need to find the middle spot. It's basically a spot where she'll find that she reaches a small amount of resistance, and she'll notice that the brake part of the rope starts to run back into the eddy. As soon as she's found this spot, she'll notice that she can control the speed at which the climber descends through 2 settings. The first one being how tightly she holds on to the rope. Obviously, if she grips it quite tightly, it won't go that fast. If she leaves it quite loosely, it'll go a lot faster. The second setting is simply at which angle she lets the rope run into the eddy itself. If she pulls it down all the way down to the bottom, the descent will be a lot slower. If she holds it up towards the top, it'll go a lot faster. Exactly. Now, our secondary belayer obviously has 2 jobs as well. In this case being that she has to remove the slag that is still between the main and the secondary belayer, and to make sure that our main belayer has enough rope to control the descent of our climber. In case of a significant weight difference between our main belayer and our climber, we'll need a 3rd person in our safety line, called the backup. The backup will be needing a helmet as well, and will place him or herself behind the main belayer. Both hands will grab into the waist strap as such. He'll take on a sturdy position, and he'll make sure that our main belayer doesn't get pulled into the air when our climber sits down into his harness. Thank you. You can turn around again. Fantastic. Okay, this is the way a safety team is supposed to look. Any questions?